I desperately want to know when being a business owner is going to pay off, because for me, we've officially been open for like a year and 2 months, but it's been like 2 years of working on this, 2.5 years if you count all the planning and stuff. And I don't want to say that this has been the worst 2 years of my life, but mentally, 100%. I'm on the verge of crying, or I do cry every day. Like, I can't fathom like the amount of work it takes. And like, I know I've watched like the stories of every other like business owner, and apparently, allegedly, they all go through the same thing. But when you're in the moment, it does not feel like that. It 100% feels like you're the only one going through it, and everyone has this glamorous lifestyle of being like vision of being a business owner, and they're like, so much more money, so much more time on your hands, so much more freedom. And it's actually quite the opposite. I have less money than I've ever had before. I work 3 times as much, and I have no freedom because I'm here all the time. So I just want to know when it's going to get better. Like, if someone tells me in 3 years you'll have more time, more money, more this, like whatever, I'll wait it out for 3 years. But right now, it just seems like there's a tunnel that has no light at the end of it, and it fucking sucks. It does. And I know people are like, just keep going, don't give up. So if you were in my shoes, you would have fucking given up 7 months ago.
Yeah, everybody is not cut out to be a business owner because most people don't understand business. So I'm gonna break this down from a couple different lenses, and I think that this will give you a little bit more insight into the psyche of the people that are pushing her versus the psyche of the people that has been through it. Number one, when most people go into business for themselves, and it doesn't matter what the business is. Most people are creating a job for themselves. It is a myth. It is the biggest myth of all time. And that income is just super passive to where you can just be able to kick back and kick up your feet, and that's the end of the conversation. Trust me, if it was that easy, everybody would have life hacked it, and it would be an easier path for you to be able to get there because that's what we do, right? We improve upon the information and the knowledge and the insight that we have from yesteryear, and then we get to the money, right? But it is not. Most people that create businesses, you are one person businesses. Other businesses that then depend on other people, such as hiring employees or bringing in a partner, right? They create jobs for themselves. And you wonder why a lot of immigrants then go into the restaurant business or the construction business or whatever. And it's because they don't have the skill set or the knowledge base or the background or the resume or the education to often at times be able to take advantage of getting a high paying job. Let me say it again for the people in the back: a high paying job. Their children, right? Because they'll come over here and they'll open up a restaurant and they have to work it, meaning that they cannot take days off. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Nobody is going to check on your PTO days. Nobody is going to care about if your grandmother is sick or if somebody died in your life. They want whatever it is that you say that you're going to sell when you sell it with good customer service. They don't care about if your employees called off or if people are stealing from you or if you got robbed the day before, if you having problems in your relationship. When I see people that are operating in America and they got these jobs and stuff, I understand that you guys have first world problems. You've never had to build anything, and that's why it's easy for them to then protest and say, "Well, I want this or I want that or we're not." People are very privileged in the United States of America, and most people don't know what it takes in order to open up a business. You got to put your own money up, or if you borrow money, you got to pay that money back, and they want their money back regardless of whether you're successful or not. If you sign that lease, they want their rent regardless of whether or not you're successful. People don't care. And when people start businesses, most times they create jobs for themselves. This is why I tell a lot of people, do not quit your job, do them both. If you realize that you're not cut out for it, if you can't do both because it is going to require all of your time, all of your investment, all of the insight, and it's going to take everything out of you. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that when you then get a good paying job, and this is why a lot of people that are business owners wind up sending their children to college to get really great paying jobs. And I'm talking about smaller business owners. I'm not talking about these super mega millionaires and stuff like that. A lot of people that open up businesses and they got to work it and they got to grind and they got to hustle. It takes the life out of you. It takes a lot out of you. I tell people and I break down the cost benefit analysis inside of the Patreon. So if y'all want to tap into the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. But I often at times break down a calculation that I give out to my bag chasers, and it's called a cost benefit analysis. And people often at times will ask me because, I've taken you along a journey on this channel. You can go back and see me opening up restaurants and learn lessons and all of that stuff. And I am a silent owner and partner in a lot of other things that I no longer have to put my hands on. But that's just me being able to be the finance and being the money now instead of actually putting my hands on it. But I built it and worked corporate America and did content creation and did the marketing, and I did everything from the ground up, which gave me all of the information that I need to now give you and also use that information in other businesses, right? Um, if you talk to a lot of these people, right, they don't really understand cost benefit analysis. Cost benefit analysis is, let's say you go into the restaurant business and you're doing okay and you're profitable. But when you calculate the amount of time that you have to be there versus what the profitability of the business is, and if you can use that same amount of time to generate more revenue, whether you get a job or you get a second job, or you decide that you want to go into a business that have higher margins and are more profitable, that is the cost benefit analysis, meaning that is it beneficial, even if this thing is profitable, even if I'm in the green and I'm not in the red, for me to continue to do this business because it's draining me. I'm losing sleep. I got to be here all the time. I got to deal with people that as soon as they get their paychecks, they call off the next day or whatever. That is what we call a cost benefit analysis. Now, again, I deep dive into it a little bit more in the Patreon, but to answer her question, she said if somebody tells her that it's going to take 3 years and then it gets better, I can deal with it. I will tell you that it does not get better. It don't. Even if you are doing well, even if you're successful, it's going to take more. If you scale up, it's going to take more. If you hire other people, it's going to take more. If you open up another location, it's going to take more. You have to have a knack. You have to have a strong backbone, a strong support system. You also are going to have to be willing to sacrifice time with your family. You're going to have to be able to sacrifice time with your loved ones. You're going to have to be able to, not go to the family gatherings, not go to the holiday situations, not do any of that type of stuff. You're going to have to basically live it. You're going to have to become the business. And again, most people open up businesses to basically give themselves a job knowingly or unknowingly, right? Whether they know it or not, whether they understand it or not, whether they know what's going to come as a result of them doing it, they do it. You are opening up a business to give yourself a job. You have to be there. 99% of all businesses, you got to be there every single day in order to make it work. You got to be there. You got to check on it. You got to see where the money going. You got to see who's stealing. You got to check on the customers. You got to, because nobody is going to love it or run it the way that you do. Nobody is going to love it or run it the way that you do. I will tell you that most people are not built for opening up businesses. If you do want to be successful in business, there is a formula to it. There is a mental fortitude that you got to have to go along with it. That whole passive income bullshit, you have to, okay, let's say that the passive income thing is real. Let's say that you got a whole lot of rental properties or you invested in a particular stock and you are getting dividends. You still have to have a huge majority share, a huge share. And it has to make sense from a numbers perspective, percentages, for you to be able to generate the type of dividends on a quarterly basis to still be able to live off of. You got to have a whole lot of properties. And then even with those properties, you may have to deal with a squatter. You may have to deal with, changing interest rates, changing market rates. You may have to have turnover. You have to go in and you're going to have months that you may not get rent because you then have to turn over the property in order to rent it out to somebody else. You got fees that's associated with it. The mortgage company, if you not buying it cash, still want their money. It's a lot. It's a lot that goes with it. So I would tell people a lot of times, all of these people that's complaining and saying, well, you need to open up your own business. It's a reason why most businesses fail. The overwhelming majority of businesses fail within the first 2 years. And then more fail within the next 3 to 4 years. And even those that are successful, some people just saying, you know what, I don't feel like doing this no more. I'm not doing it. So, you just got to have a knack for it. You got to have a knack for it. I'm willing to not sleep. I'm willing to be up till 4 in the morning. I'm willing to be up till 5 in the morning. I will tell you that when I opened up my first restaurant, I was only getting like an hour, hour and a half of sleep for like a long time because I still was rocking out corporate America. I still was doing content. I still have my other businesses. And then at some point, you got to do a cost benefit analysis. When, for me, I did it because I did an escalating lease. And if you guys want to know all of this, then you can tap into the Patreon. But once the lease was up, we sat down, we did the numbers, we seen how much it was taking out of our energy to deal with it. We had a small daughter at the time. And if I do it again, if I was to ever do it again, like 100% own it, I don't think that I would ever 100% own it. I would have to have a partner. Kind of like the silent ownership that I do now, when I would just, put my name on it or market it because I have a decent platform and I understand the marketing concept of it. And then even then, it's no guarantee that it's going to be successful because you still have to have the right person if you're not going to work it yourself to make sure that it's profitable and to understand it from a business perspective and not just be able to cook real good. But it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And so, really, to answer a question, and I always like to link back to the content creator in order to give them credit, it doesn't get better, it gets worse. However, there are financial benefits if you stick with it. And if you can pivot and learn what you know, and then pivot that information into doing other things that could be more profitable, it could be very, very great for you. But just hoping that it gets better over a period of time, completely unrealistic. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, teach Henley 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.